Defeat him and you'll be able to enter the second level of the Heavenly Bridge. The Cloud misspoke. Same as me on the Dark Cloud Shuttle and using the Nan Shen Armament? Luo Feng squinted with a thought. The hexagonal Absolute Void Shield, and the Ghost Blade Golden Shadow Blade, appeared in his hands. Simultaneously the dark golden long rod on his back immediately shot out beams of golden light, a total of 54 beams of light. Every 9 strings of golden light quickly fused together, transforming into a golden sword that was over a foot long and looked very real. The Nan Shen Armament second level. Sky-piercing form, unleashed 1 golden blade. However, Luo Feng was able to unleash 6 in one go. One reason was because his spirit energy broke through from star level 9 to universe level 1. The more important reason was that during these 3 years of traveling in the universe, Luo Feng's strength had grown at a shocking rate. Kill? The mysterious man roared, stepping on the Dark Cloud Shuttle and rushing over. At the same time, 3 real golden blades swiftly formed behind him. These 2 were both controllers. At the same time, one side controlled 6 golden swords, while the other side controlled 3 golden swords. These 3 years I've never relaxed. Compared to the genius battle, I'm much stronger. I'll let you test my current strength. Luo Feng's eyes were filled with endless fighting spirit. The 6 golden blades seemed to be extremely familiar with each other, working together and pressing forward. Dang. In mid-air, the 6 blades and the mysterious man unleashed his 3 blades, madly attacking again and again. What's going on? Luo Feng was shocked within. Before coming to Primal Chaos City, he could already use 6 golden swords. Controlling the 6 golden swords was the easiest and most familiar thing for him. Because he was so familiar with controlling them, even though he had improved a lot in the 7 days of studying the tablet, he still chose to use 6 golden swords, because he was very familiar with the combination of the 6 golden swords and how to attack. He actually blocked it. I don't believe it. Luo Feng's eyes were cold. The 6 blades, almost like 6 perfect soldiers, advancing and retreating, extremely perfect, attacking again and again, trying to break through the 3 blades' obstructions to kill the enemy. However, failure. After failing again and again, the 3 golden swords controlled by the mysterious man seemed to have a special artistic conception. It was as if the 3 golden swords were not separate entities, but a perfect whole. From time to time, the 3 golden swords would give off the feeling of an endless wave of pressure. At other times, he was like an unshakable mountain that reached the clouds. How is this possible? Luo Feng was shocked within. I have 6 golden blades, he only controls 3, why can't I have any advantage at all? Work hard. Again and again he tried everything he could to make the 6 golden swords work together, but his opponent was still floating far away. He could easily block the attacks with just 3 golden swords. Idiot, you don't even understand this. The mysterious man revealed a pair of eyes with a hint of mockery. Trying to pass the first level? Die. Shio. The 3 golden swords controlled by the mysterious man suddenly changed their forms. Suddenly the 3 got closer to each other, giving off a feeling of 3 becoming 1, almost like a huge blade that could slice through the skies. Luo Feng was shocked within as he controlled the 6 golden swords to block. Rumble, a huge sound resounded. Luo Feng's 6 golden swords were all knocked back. How? In the distance in mid-air, Luo Feng was shocked within. Ah, idiot, idiot, idiot. The mysterious man roared. Against the 3 rainbows that were coming at him, Luo Feng fiercely roared, Rise! Rumble. The 3 golden swords behind Luo Feng rose, the 6 that were knocked back rose too. Simultaneously Luo Feng's body glowed with a glaring gold light. The light was like a wave that rippled in all directions, swiftly wrapping around the 9 golden swords. The 9 swords were almost like the base of a huge formation. The golden threads interweaved, the golden blade energy with the 9 swords as the center expanded. In an instant, with Luo Feng as the center, the 300 m radius of the spherical space immediately became a glaring blade energy world. Countless golden blade energy flowed about within this space. Although it was slow. In truth, the moment the 9 swords rose, they swiftly formed the spherical space. Nan Shen Armament's 3rd level. Heavenly Blade Formation. Also known as the Blade Domain. The Nan Shen Armament had a total of 9 levels, of which the 2nd level, the sky-piercing form, was merely the 9 golden blades fusing into 1 golden blade. The 3rd level however required 1 to simultaneously form 9 blades, that was equivalent to 81 golden blades fusing together to succeed. The difficulty was extremely high, much higher than the 2nd level by tens to hundreds of times. Luo Feng could successfully unleash it. It was due to his huge increase in strength over the past 3 years, and his spirit energy reaching universe level 1. Chi. The 3 golden rainbows seemed to have sunk into a blade energy swamp within the spherical space, being weakened by countless blade energy, their speed constantly decreasing. I admit you are very strong, however against absolute power you still lose. Luo Feng stood on the Dark Cloud Shuttle, rushing like lightning towards the distant mysterious man. The Blade Domain with Luo Feng as the center. As Luo Feng rushed, the entire domain naturally followed swiftly. Break! The mysterious man swiftly fled, simultaneously roaring. The 3 golden swords he controlled actually instantly drew close to each other. Countless golden threads flowed and actually intertwined around the 3 golden swords to form a misty huge golden sword. The misty huge golden sword swiftly cut through the countless sword energies that were obstructing it. With a dreamy rainbow light, it directly pierced towards Luo Feng. What move is this? Luo Feng was shocked. He had trained the Nan Shen Armament and studied it, however he didn't know anything about this move. Heavenly Blade. Luo Feng roared. The 9 blades that formed the blade domain had already become one with Luo Feng's control. Immediately one of them was like a hunting leopard that rushed out, bringing with it the entire blade domain's power, piercing straight at the golden huge blade. In an instant, the countless blade energy in the blade domain seemed to have received an order to block, or follow behind the golden blade. The golden blade that brought with it the blade domain's power. The huge golden blade formed from the fusion of 3 blades. It instantly clashed. Rumble. The golden blade was immediately repelled. The huge golden blade was like a huge ship charging straight, immediately knocking over Luo Feng's golden blade and immediately arriving before him. Luo Feng, who didn't have time to dodge, wielded his blade and shield. Luo Feng used his shield to deflect the force, however he felt the huge golden blade was like a majestic mountain smashing at him, causing his entire body to tremble and spit out fresh blood. No wonder even using the heavenly blade formation couldn't block it. This force is unbelievable. Following which Luo Feng's consciousness trembled. When he awoke again he was already back in the virtual universe Yuxiang Mountain, within his villa in the absolute beginning region. Your Majesty. The servants and guards bowed. Luo Feng nodded. Your Majesty, how was the Heavenly Bridge? The manager of the villa, also the leader of the guards, Sector Lord Ao Duo Liku asked. I failed. Luo Feng shook his head. The Heavenly Bridge is very hard to pass. It's normal to fail the first time. Your Majesty doesn't have to worry too much. Ao Duo Liku said. Luo Feng's expression was calm as he returned to his study. Within the study. I lost. Luo Feng frowned. Out of this batch of 1,000, close to 900 have tested. Other than Bolin who passed 2 levels, the others didn't even pass 1. Failure. I'm not surprised, however the first level's opponent also used the Nan Shen Armament, and he only used 3 golden blades, yet he was able to break my heavenly blade formation. Basics. Luo Feng, I've said before that the basics are important. You used 9 golden blades to form the heavenly blade formation. The opponent only used 3 golden blades to win. This is the importance of the basics. On his shoulder, the fist-sized Babata shouted. It's not the same, he used the Nan Shen Armament with me, it's different. Luo Feng thought back to the battle before. I controlled 6 golden blades or 9. No matter what, they were all individual bodies just like 6 soldiers or 9 soldiers working together. However, when he used the Nan Shen Armament he was able to form a true superposition of power, almost like a true body, especially that last move. Those 3 blades combined to form a huge golden blade. Nan Shen Armament's 3rd level, Heavenly Blade Formation. Nan Shen Armament's 4th level, Great Skill. This 4th level was in truth a fusion of a large blade formation, becoming one, using absolute pressure to destroy the opponent. It was named Great Skill. I feel that this move of his is similar to the 4th level. Luo Feng frowned, however it's different from the 4th level. The 4th level is much more complex and powerful, and it's just 3 golden blades fusing together, yet its power is so ridiculous. This is the 9 Universe Primal Chaos Tablets test. Luo Feng's mind flashed through the 9 Universe Primal Chaos Tablets first picture, the raindrop picture. On it there were a total of 9 drops, 7 days of study. Luo Feng's mind had a lot of comprehension. Thinking back to the battle before, thinking about the raindrop picture, his mind seemed to recall the 3 drops within the picture fusing together. Don't tell me. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. The 7 days of study in his mind, along with the 3 years of studying the origin laws and using the Nan Shen Armament, these thoughts clashed, large amounts of sparks flew, new ideas constantly appearing. Excitement. Anticipation. I understand. Luo Feng couldn't help but shout. It's better to have no books than to believe in books. Luo Feng couldn't help but laugh out loud. The Nan Shen Armament is a weapon created by a strong warrior. Rigidly using the most basic methods to use the Nan Shen Armament is simply too rigid and stupid. No wonder he said I was stupid. I was indeed stupid. The raindrop picture. This is the true way to unleash the Nan Shen Armament's true power. 9 Universe Primal Chaos Tablet. It was infused with the true path. Any weapon's usage could be found through the path, finding the correct path. Even though he failed this time, to Luo Feng, the enlightenment and benefits were much greater than success. Let's begin. Luo Feng couldn't wait any longer. The virtual universe training grounds was the best place to train. As one could set the best training conditions within the virtual universe, and because it was a 100% simulation, compared to training in reality, in terms of experience accumulation and comprehension, the results were exactly the same. Just like the killing fields, the fees were shockingly high, yet countless warriors still entered. And as a core member he had his own training grounds. After which, Luo Feng wasn't in a rush to observe the universe laws in the sky of Primal Chaos City. Instead, he immersed himself in the 7 days of studying the 9 Universe Tablet, digesting everything he had learned. Your Majesty, His Majesty Wuka has come to visit. The bald Sector Lord Ao Duo Liku shouted. Wuka. Luo Feng walked out of the training grounds, his body becoming a blur, traversing 10 kilometers of distance, immediately reaching the entrance of the villa. Luo Feng, something big has happened. The silver-clothed black-haired youth rushed in. What's the matter? Luo Feng smiled and asked. It's Rongjun. This Manka prince's face was filled with excitement, saying, You probably don't know yet, yesterday when we went to the Heavenly Bridge to test, our batch of 30 all entered the huge axe bridge. However, including me, the others all failed, unable to pass the first level. Only Rongjun passed it. Out of our batch of 1,000, only Bolin and Rongjun succeeded. Bolin passed 2 levels, Rongjun passed 1, the others didn't even pass a single level. What? LuoFeng was shocked. Rongjun succeeded? In the genius battle before, he and Rongjun were pretty much on par. And in these 3 years of travel, his 3 great bodies improvements were shocking. Even though he didn't say it on the surface, within his heart, LuoFeng was certain, he was definitely ranked second. However, the result of the Heavenly Bridge was like this. And just now, Wuka said excitedly, the leader of the Yuanqin Universe Country, appeared in Primal Chaos City and took Rongjun as his disciple. Universe Country Leader? LuoFeng was shocked. Universe Country Leader, led a vast universe country. In the vast universe, they were considered the true ruling class. Under them were large amounts of undyings. How can that be? LuoFeng couldn't believe it. Even Bolin didn't make a universe country leader personally take him as a disciple. Right, I don't believe it either. Wuka shook his head. At the level of a universe country leader, there's no need to take him as a disciple. They were already absolute beings that hadn't fallen in a trillion years, existences that watched over a universe country. Even Bolin, the possibility of him becoming a universe country leader was very, very small. Hence, geniuses weren't worth the universe country leaders taking them in as disciples. However, the leader of the Yuanqin universe country had really accepted Rongjun as a disciple. The information I've received is definitely accurate. Right now the entire universe, the upper echelons of the 1008 universe countries have all received this information. This. LuoFeng laughed involuntarily. Was there a free lunch in the world? Death God Bolin was a peerless genius that everyone else in this batch of geniuses felt they needed to look up to. He didn't even attract a universe country leader to take him in as a disciple. Instead, Rongjun obtained a universe country leader as his teacher. That's not what surprised me the most. Wuka lowered his voice. I got a message from my father. LuoFeng's eyes flashed. To take Rongjun as a disciple, it's not just one universe country leader, but 2. Wuka's eyes gleamed. However, you should know that the 1008 universe countries are actually backed by the 5 Leviathans. These 2 universe country leaders, one belongs to the Virtual Universe Company, the other belongs to the Battle Axe Dojo. As Rongjun is a member of the Virtual Universe Company, he was finally accepted as a disciple by the Yuanqin universe country leader. What, 2 universe country leaders fighting? LuoFeng was speechless. No matter, Rongjun is temporarily stronger than us. Wuka gripped his fist. Anyway, I won't admit defeat so easily. My father said these 30 years in Primal Chaos City are our starting 30 years, and also the foundation for our future accomplishments. Right now the training in Primal Chaos City has just begun, it's still hard to say. LuoFeng nodded. Not just Rongjun, even Bolin in LuoFeng's heart, was only the first target he needed to surpass. How's your study of the 9 universe tablet? Wuka asked curiously. Still all right, LuoFeng said. I suggest you go to the empty training balconies in Primal Chaos City to take a look. Many of them were scribbled by the ancestors when they studied. Wuka smiled. With our movement speed, spending 10 days to half a month and we'll be able to walk around and find the most suitable scribbles for us. The Primal Chaos tablet is ultimately too profound, and other people's scribbles may have some sort of effect. This kind of collision of comprehension is the easiest way to improve. This is what my father said. LuoFeng was shocked as he looked at Wuka. His one battle on the Heavenly Bridge had allowed him to comprehend much and improve greatly. This collision of comprehension was indeed very effective. Thank you. LuoFeng said seriously. No need to thank me. Only competing with the strong is meaningful. The stronger the opponent, the faster one's improvement. Wuka smiled. I'm leaving to find some scribbles. Knowing that Rongjun has been accepted as a disciple by a universe country leader, my battle intent is very strong now. After which he vanished. LuoFeng nodded. He couldn't underestimate anyone. To be able to rank in the top 10 of the 1008 universe countries, no one could be underestimated. He had the Masha clansman and the golden horned beast, why couldn't others have other special encounters? After 7 days of study, I've more or less digested everything. The first picture of the 9 universe tablet, raindrop picture, to fully comprehend it, it's definitely not something that can be done in a few days. I'll have to look at the scribbles of the ancestors. LuoFeng's consciousness immediately left the virtual universe and returned to Primal Chaos City. After which, he began a carpet search within the city. Virtual Universe, Thunder Island. Thunder Island was the Virtual Universe Company's undying's gathering place, the true upper echelon's gathering place. The incomparably vast Thunder Island was shrouded in clouds, with lightning snakes swimming about. If Yuxiang Mountain was larger than a normal planet, then Thunder Island was more than 1,000,000 Yuxiang Mountains. This batch of 1,000 geniuses attempted the Heavenly Bridge. What were the results? The green-armored purple-scaled man sat high up in the throne and looked down, his voice resounding within this incomparably huge shrine. Night. Below stood a steel tower-like giant, covered in golden fur, and a lion-headed man. His golden fur was incredibly glaring, his entire being was like a star, incredibly dazzling. At this time he was reporting respectfully, this batch of 1,000 geniuses, 998 have all failed the Heavenly Bridge, Bolin has successfully passed 2 levels, Rongjun has successfully passed 1 level. And looking at the footage of the Heavenly Bridge, the other members of the Absolute Beginning region have done very well. Like LuoFeng, Chen Shui and Wuka, they've all done well. Compared to the genius battles, they've all improved greatly. The green armored purple scaled man nodded. Only Rong Jun alone surprised me, the others are still normal. Send me the footage of Rong Jun's battle on the Heavenly Bridge. The green armored purple scaled man ordered. Yes, knight. The lion-headed man respectfully sent the footage over. After which, a screen appeared in the shrine, and a video started playing. In the video, Rong Jun was like a god of war. He had a savage aura, and his earth splitter blade had reached the acme of perfection. Every slash of his blade was incomparably ferocious, and in the end he killed his opponent who was also using the earth splitter blade. The green armored purple scaled man watched calmly, creasing his eyebrows. You may leave. Yes. The lion-headed man respectfully retreated. The divine hall was silent. The green armored purple scaled man examined the footage and muttered, that's weird. This Rong Jun's battle talent is indeed shocking. Even though his origin law comprehension isn't that strong, he's able to unleash an extremely strong battle strength. Creating his own blade technique at such a young age, he's a very powerful genius. However, this isn't worth Yuan Qin and Gu Luin, these two universe country leaders fighting over him as a disciple. Yuan Qin, Gu Luin, these two universe country leaders have existed for extremely long periods of time, much older than me. The green armored purple scaled man creased his eyebrows. They've also reached the knight level earlier than me. Maybe they've discovered something from this footage that I haven't. As an absolute being on the same level as the Yuan Qin and Gu Luin universe country leaders, Nine-Blade Knight was very clear that geniuses had no attraction to the universe country leaders. So what if they nurtured a genius? Unless they nurtured a universe country leader, otherwise it wouldn't be of much benefit to them. Even Bolin didn't have anyone fighting over him as a disciple. However, for Rong Jun, there were two universe country leaders fighting over him. There's definitely a secret. Yuan Qin and Gu Luin, these two old geezers are the longest living universe country leaders, they've definitely discovered something. Nine-Blade Knight watched the footage once. With his level of being, he had long since analyzed the footage thoroughly. Whatever he could discover would have been discovered long ago. Why? What secret? Nine-Blade Knight pondered for a while, he could only bury it deep within. Primal Chaos City, 7th level of the 9-level pagoda. The golden-armored ape-man warrior True Yen Emperor was discussing with the snake-tailed lady about the matter of the Yuan Qin universe country leader coming to Primal Chaos City to take Rong Jun as a disciple. Rong Jun, his battle talent is extremely high. The snake-tailed lady said hoarsely, his origin law comprehension may be low, but he's able to explode with extremely strong battle strength. Very exceptional. This wave of 1,000 geniuses from your virtual universe company, other than Bolin, it's his turn. You can't say that. True Yen Emperor said, of the 12 punks that chose the 9-universe tablet, there's one that's no weaker than Rong Jun, maybe even stronger. You're talking about Luo Feng? The snake-tailed lady nodded. Right, that punk is only universe level 1 and he's actually able to unleash the Heavenly Blade formation. It's just that he doesn't know how to adapt, his usage of the Nan Shen Armament is still stuck at the most basic level. However, his origin law comprehension foundation is very solid, with just a bit of training, his battle strength will rise by a huge amount. In terms of origin law comprehension, Bolin is number 1, this Luo Feng can be considered number 2. The ape-man warrior True Yen Emperor rubbed his chin, muttering, this Luo Feng is definitely a good seedling of our 9-universe sect, I'll have to give him a little hint. What are you doing? The snake-tailed lady was shocked. Why, that Rong Jun has a universe country leader as his teacher, I'm just giving him a little hint. The ape-man shook his head. Right now in Primal Chaos City, I'm number 1 under the universe country leaders of the 9-universe sect. Those universe country leaders look down on Luo Feng, Bolin and the others. My standards aren't that high, I still look up to them. When that Luo Feng passes the 3rd level of the Heavenly Bridge, he'll have the right to listen to my lessons. After a few tens of thousands of years, I might have an absolute undying under me. Ah. The snake-tailed lady shook her head and closed her eyes. Seeing that, the ape-man warrior laughed and didn't disturb her any further, immediately vanishing from the tower. Within Primal Chaos City, energy revolved. Dressed in the cloud contact vine armor, Luo Feng stood on the balcony of a training quarters, looking at the distant training quarters. These past 8 days he had been doing a carpet search. The entire Primal Chaos City had large amounts of empty training quarters, many of them had scribbles left behind by countless warriors. It wasn't just Luo Feng who was searching, like the Manka Prince Wuka, Long Yun who entered the primal region, Chen Shui and Rong Jun etc. from the same absolute beginning region, they were all searching for those scribbles. This group of young geniuses were all clear, the 30 years in Primal Chaos City was their 30 years of building their foundations, and the fastest way to improve wasn't to just bury one's head in training. As the saying goes, sharpening one's axe won't hold up the work, choosing the right path of thought was very important. There was no need to observe the universe origin laws from the start. Hence, they were all searching for the scribbles of the previous generations. 112 of them have great feelings. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. Which one should I choose? The 9-universe tablets' 9 pictures were profound. And the scribbles of the other warriors were like detailed interpretations, allowing people like Luo Feng to comprehend them more effectively. Luo Feng. A clear voice resounded. Luo Feng turned to look. A lady with slightly curly long green hair, mysterious green engravings on her face, almost like it was made of water, floated down on the balcony, smiling gently as she said, Luo Feng, have you found a suitable engraving for you? Not yet, I found 112 scribbles, they're all not bad, I don't know which one to choose. Luo Feng shook his head. Chen Shui, how's your search? Chen Shui, one of the genius siblings from Aogusi planet, also an absolute beginning member. I'm hesitating too, under my teacher's recommendation, I have 3 choices. Chen Shui smiled. I won't talk to you anymore. My teacher saw the video of you crossing the sky, crossing Heavenly Bridge. He said that in our batch, your comprehension of the origin laws is second only to Bolin. You're even stronger than Rong Jun. Ah. Luo Feng frowned. Work hard, you may be ahead now, but that doesn't mean you'll always be ahead. These 30 years will be the biggest changes. Chen Shui flew up. I'm leaving. A green silhouette flew into the distance and vanished within the chaos energy flow. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. Your batch of 1,000 geniuses, quite a few of them have quite a strong background, all of them have rankers guiding them from behind, Babata said. Unfortunately, I can't help you. No problem. Luo Feng didn't mind as he smiled. Suddenly Babata was shocked. Luo Feng, I've received a mail, it's sent from the Virtual Universe Company. Ah. Luo Feng was shocked, immediately sending a thread of his consciousness into the Virtual Universe Network. Virtual Universe Network, Absolute Beginning Region, Luo Feng's villa. In the study room, Luo Feng sat in front of his desk and looked at the mail on his laptop. Luo Feng, I've seen the video of you crossing the Heavenly Bridge, it's not bad, it's just that your usage of the Nan Shen Armament is too rigid. Weapons were dead but people were alive. As for how to use the Nan Shen Armament, naturally you have to maximize its power. You've just started studying the 9 Universe Primal Chaos Tablet, so I suggest that you go buy a combat mystic art called Floating Blood. It only costs 800 points. After you buy the Floating Blood mystic art, go to the rooftop of Cultivation Residence number 0290028981 to take a look. There are inscriptions left behind by the creator of the Floating Blood. This should be the most suitable for you to learn the first 3 diagrams of the 9 Universe Primal Chaos Tablet in my 9 Universe sect. Work hard, I have high hopes for you. Zhu Yan. A simple mail, however it was sent from within the Virtual Universe Company, it wasn't normal at all. As he was a core member of the company, normal people wouldn't know his network number. Finding his network number and even sending it through the company's internal network, this person was obviously one of the upper echelons of the Virtual Universe Company. Zhu Yan. Luo Feng sat in front of his desk, curious. Who is he? Zhu Yan, I don't know either. Babata too had a curious expression. Babata, find me information on Floating Blood and Zhu Yan. Luo Feng ordered. Different statuses had different levels of authority. Normal people could only see some filtered information in the Virtual Universe Network. Some secrets like the bug race, automaton race etc., couldn't be found at all. And Luo Feng's position was high now, his authority was much higher too. Understood. Babata said excitedly. The laptop's screen immediately changed, large amounts of information appeared. This is all related to Zhu Yan. Babata shouted. Ah. Luo Feng stared at the screen, there was a lot of information on it, he couldn't help but get shocked. Zhu Yan technique, created by Zhu Yan Emperor, the Virtual Universe Company's internal selling price is actually 800,000 points. My god, teacher's soul imprint, Babata, you estimated it to be only about 10,000 points. This Zhu Yan technique is actually that expensive? Zhu Yan Emperor? Babata was shocked. This Zhu Yan, he's actually been named Emperor? What's wrong? Luo Feng asked curiously. Luo Feng. Babata was extremely excited. You don't know. Both Undyings, however the difference in power and position is huge, normal Undyings can become a general, leading large amounts of universe warriors to form an army. And some of the absolute warriors amongst the Undyings can even be named Emperor by the Virtual Universe Company or the Battle Axe Dojo. Undyings who are named Emperor are considered absolute warriors amongst the Undyings, like your teacher, he barely has the right to be named Emperor. And the pinnacle of the Undyings and even higher Undyings and invincible beings are usually named Emperor. That's terrifying, and looking at this Zhu Yan technique, it's actually selling for 800,000 points, my god, it definitely belongs to the entire universe. Amongst the many Undyings, he's the pinnacle of being closest to a universe country leader. This kind of being is very very strong. Babata said excitedly. Ah. Luo Feng understood within. General. Conferred Marquis. Conferred King. These 3 positions to a certain extent reflected one's power. Babata, the enemy that killed my teacher back then, how strong was he? Luo Feng asked, and the excited Babata was stunned, his blood-red eyes dimmed slightly, after which he said slowly, the enemy that killed your teacher back then was very strong, your teacher barely had the strength of an official, and that enemy should be at the pinnacle of an official or even an emperor. Luo Feng was shocked. Someone like his teacher could barely be an official. The enemy could actually barely be an emperor. No wonder his teacher lost so badly back then. That kind of warrior in your Ganwu universe country can be ranked in the top 3. Babata said solemnly. Luo Feng was shocked. The Ganwu universe country has over 10,000 Undyings. 1,008 universe countries, Undyings that can be named Emperor are extremely few. They're all absolute warriors, they usually don't want to stay in a particular universe country. These that can be named Emperor are mostly under the 5 Leviathans or independent. Babata said solemnly, every single one of them are incredibly strong, they're the closest to a universe country leader. One technique can sell for 800,000 points, Zhu Yan Emperor, even amongst the emperors he's considered one of the top. Babata said, I saw a technique created by a universe country leader in the treasure trove before, it only sold for 1 million points. A technique created by a universe country leader sold for 1 million points. A technique created by True Yen Emperor sold for 800,000 points. One could see how terrifying True Yen Emperor was. Haha. Luo Feng laughed. Babata, before you were still talking about who had a huge figure or background behind them, I, Luo Feng, don't have a huge background or a huge figure, but I can still attract people to teach me. Ah. Within, Luo Feng was very grateful to the mysterious absolute warrior True Yen Emperor. This mail to True Yen was just a casual reminder. However, to Luo Feng, it was a huge help in building his foundations. Have you found the floating blood? Luo Feng asked. I found it. On the screen appeared many pieces of information related to the floating blood. Compared to the vague introduction of True Yen Emperor, the introduction of floating blood was obviously much more detailed. Obviously True Yan's information was extremely confidential. With Luo Feng's authority, he could only find the most basic information. Floating blood, creator Lien Luo, is a basic technique of the Nine Universe sect. It mainly talks about the first 3 pictures of the Nine Universe Primal Chaos tablet, requires 800 points to exchange. Lien Luo, ranked number 1 in the Genius Battle, was chosen to enter the Primal region and chose the Nine Universe Primal Chaos tablet. After tens of thousands of years of hard work, he created the pinnacle of the Nine Universe Primal Chaos tablet's basic techniques, floating blood. After becoming undying, he was immediately given the title Blood-Clothed Official. He fell in one of the universe's secret regions. Luo Feng read carefully. The information also had many things about Lien Luo. This Lien Luo was ranked number 1 in the Genius Battle back then, an absolute genius. The moment he became undying, he was immediately given the title Official. It was a pity he didn't even live for 100,000 years before falling. He died too early. It's a pity? Luo Feng shook his head. If he didn't die early, his future would definitely be limitless. Babata exclaimed and shook his head. Floating blood was a basic technique. It was meant for those below undying level to learn, hence the price wasn't high. However, the price didn't mean it was bad. What Luo Feng needed was a basic technique, and this floating blood was highly recommended by True Yen. Obviously it wasn't bad. 800 points, I'm just short of 800 points. Luo Feng didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I'm regretting spending the 10,000 points before too much. I've spent it all. Who asked you to spend it so quickly? Babata muttered. You didn't instigate it? Luo Feng glanced at Babata on his shoulder. Forget it, I'll first go to number 0290028981 balcony to take a look, to see what this genius Lien Luo from a trillion years ago left behind. After seeing Lien Luo's experiences, Luo Feng couldn't help but sigh at this genius from a trillion years ago. He fell too early. He didn't even live for 100,000 years, it was an extremely short lifespan amongst the undyings. Primal Chaos City. Luo Feng immediately became a blur and swiftly flew up, searching for the place Lien Luo used to live in back then. When Luo Feng was searching for Lien Luo's training grounds from a long time ago, in the virtual universe, Yuxiang Mountain Absolute Beginning Region, Rongjun's Villa Training Grounds. Teacher. Carrying the Earth Splitter blade on his back, the savage youth Rongjun bowed respectfully. In front of him stood a man with a majestic figure and dressed in simple training clothes. Looking at this man, one would feel as though they were looking at a black hole in the starry sky. It would naturally cause one to feel a sense of reverence. He was the Yuanshan Universe country leader, someone who had existed for who knows how many years, an ancient eternal being that lived thousands to tens of thousands of times longer than planets and stars. The Yuanshan country leader nodded. Right now I'm practicing the first acts of the huge axe tablet. Rongjun's eyes gleamed. The Yuanshan country leader extended his hand and a huge axe automatically appeared in it. Simultaneously the space within the training grounds began to warp, changing into a universe space scene. Watch carefully. The Yuanshan country leader's eyes were deep and unfathomable, almost as though it contained a universe space. He raised the huge axe in his hand and immediately his entire being seemed to become a huge axe soaring into the sky. Just that powerful willpower that transformed into the huge axe caused the entire space to tremble, almost as though it was about to split apart. He waved the axe. The country lord of Yuanshan coldly waved the gigantic axe in his hand. Instantly the starry space froze like a piece of paper before directly splitting apart. Even the stars in front of him were split apart. After that, the entire training space trembled and the starry space dissipated, returning to normal. Rongjun's eyes stared wide open, the scene from before flashing through his mind. Raising the axe, his willpower was condensed to the extreme. Waving the axe, space froze and then split apart like a piece of paper. The giant axe Primal Chaos tablet is the most profound among the 52 tablets. The Yuanshan country leader said coldly, after you comprehend the first axe and pass the 4th level of the Heavenly Bridge, I'll demonstrate the second axe for you. Yes, teacher. Rongjun said respectfully. The Yuanshan country leader nodded, his lips curling up as though he was smiling. After which he vanished. So that's how it is. After his teacher left, savage Rongjun's eyes gleamed with excitement. So that's how the first axe is displayed. The Yuanshan Universe country leader had intentionally slowed down his movements when he displayed it, using his willpower to guide Rongjun, allowing him to comprehend it to the greatest extent. Foster father. Just watch 2-man walk to the peak. Savage Rongjun mumbled softly. After which, he started to study the first axe. As the first acts of the huge axe primal chaos tablet, it was indeed mysterious and profound. If he could comprehend the first acts, he could easily defeat that absolute genius Bolin. After all, Bolin had only passed the second level previously. Outside Primal Chaos City. So this is Primal Chaos City's third treasure. The white-clothed young man Bolin with the blood sword on his back stood at the entrance of Primal Chaos City, reading the words on the huge stone tablet that introduced the so-called third treasure. His cold eyes flashed with light. "Teacher, you told me to find you after I reached Undying. I will reach Undying as fast as I can, definitely." Baron. In the past 10 million years of genius battles, he had always been number one, even though he had heard that a universe country leader had taken Rong Jun as a disciple. But in his heart, he had never seen anyone as a worthy opponent. He was invincible in his heart, so he was invincible. His opponent was himself. Faster, faster, faster. He wanted to reach the Undying Realm even faster, become a super expert among the Undying Realm, and become a noble emperor. Bolin muttered. It was because he had such a high conviction that he had improved so much in the space origin laws. His comprehension of space was extremely strong. Naturally, his comprehension of the various energies within space was also extremely strong. Actually, he could have researched gold, wood, water, fire, earth, any one of them. These five were very compatible with space. However, he had chosen the wind. Because wind, lightning, light, they were very compatible with time. His ambition was huge, even more terrifying than the Time Sector Lord. However, in terms of talent, he was much stronger than the Time Sector Lord Luo. He had the ability to do so. Rong Jun, with the Yuanshan Universe country leader as his teacher, his own battle talent was extremely strong too. Bolin, he didn't even put anyone else in his eyes, his opponent was himself. The other geniuses like Hypnotist Jia Laishi, Wuka, Ai Chen, Jiang Mo, Long Yun, etc., all had their own fortuitous encounters. To be able to reach where they were today, none of them would easily admit defeat. They still wanted to charge into the absolute beginning region, the primal region. Like Long Yun, a primal region genius, yet he was being suppressed by Rong Jun. How could he be satisfied? Chaos energy flowed about. Luo Feng walked on the streets, looking at the training quarters ahead. This training quarters had a line of words on the wall. 9 Universe Sect. As long as there were many different sects of words on the wall, it meant that this training quarters belonged to a certain sect's public training quarters. No one was allowed to use it. After all, other than the 52 Primal Chaos tablets, there were still many exceptional markings on the roofs of Primal Chaos City, hence these were all public training quarters. Anyone could come and take a look. Of the 112 that Luo Feng had chosen before, 103 of them were public training quarters. Floating Blood's founder Lian Luo, so this was where he stayed back then. Out of the 112 I chose before, there wasn't this place. Luo Feng sighed within. There was no choice. Primal Chaos City was simply too big. There were simply too many training quarters. A short 8 days of carpet searching. Every single one of the markings was destined to be impossible to study. He could only rely on a short period of time to judge. Entering the quarters. Very quickly, he followed the stairs and arrived at the balcony. On the 100m long and wide balcony, there were messy markings. Simultaneously, there were a few peculiar words. This is the genius Lian Luo's training quarters? Luo Feng frowned curiously. True Yen Emperor recommended this? Shua. Luo Feng jumped off the balcony and landed at the entrance. Looking at the number on the door frame, it was indeed 0290028981. The number is correct, it's here. Luo Feng jumped and landed on the balcony. This balcony markings. Luo Feng looked carefully. All of the buildings in Primal Chaos City seemed to use the same type of or that appeared in the Primal Universe. Even after a trillion years, it didn't decay. It was very mysterious. The markings on it were still very clear after a trillion years. Blade intent. Luo Feng looked at the messy markings on the balcony, squatting down, carefully studying them. These seemingly random markings indeed had many similarities with the 9 Universe tablet. It does have the feeling of the 9 Universe tablet, however it's just bits and pieces, it's not a system, what's the use? But True Yen Emperor told me to come here. Luo Feng's gaze swept, suddenly seeing a few peculiar words at the side of the balcony. Babata, translate it for me, see what it means. Luo Feng thought. No problem. Babata swiftly translated. The screen on Luo Feng's arm appeared with the translated words. I, Lian Luo, comprehended the 9 Universe tablet. After 3,000 years of study, I finally created the Floating Blood Manual. Haha, once I've completed it, the first 3 pictures no longer hold any mysteries for me. Everything is incomparably clear. These 3 pictures are the foundations for comprehending the 9 Universe tablet. My foundations are very solid. How many can compare to me, even if others study the 4th picture? There. Comprehension of space might not match up to mine, the 4th, 5th and 6th pictures. I have 100% confidence in how to train. In the future I'll definitely become undying. I'll definitely become an emperor. A few lines of words, a total of 108 words. However, when translated into Chinese, the number of words was slightly different. That confident? Luo Feng was shocked. These words were filled with excitement and strong confidence. Even with trillions of years separating them, Luo Feng could almost see the distant ancient times. An absolute genius created the floating blood technique and was extremely confident in the future, leaving behind these words. Indeed, his improvement speed was shocking. After breaking through to undying, he was immediately made an official. When he fell, his lifespan wasn't even 100,000 years. If he lived a little longer, becoming an emperor wouldn't be a problem. Luo Feng nodded within. With his improvement speed, he wasn't any weaker than Bolin at all. Standing on the balcony, Luo Feng was silent for a while. Luo Feng. Babata shouted, this Lian Luo should be right. The first 3 diagrams are the foundation of the 9 universe primal chaos tablet. And this, floating blood, is praised by True Yen as the best basic type of secret technique. For him to be able to create this secret technique, it is clear that his understanding of the first 3 diagrams has already reached the peak. The stronger the foundation, the stronger the momentum. Just like when you attempted the first level of the Heavenly Bridge, the opponent only used 3 golden blades, yet he was able to unleash even more power than you using 9 blades to unleash the Heavenly Blade formation. Luo Feng had long known the importance of the foundation. To be able to build a skyscraper, the stronger the foundation, the more shocking the result. That Lian Luo's foundation had obviously reached the pinnacle. Luo Feng looked silently at the few lines of words. Quietly looking. What are you looking at? Are you listening to me? Babata shouted unhappily. Don't be noisy. Luo Feng's expression was serious, his eyes gleaming, staring at the 108 peculiar words he couldn't understand at all. True Yen told me to look, it should be to look at these 108 words. Ah. Babata was shocked. I didn't realize it before, but after looking at it for a while, I realized it. Luo Feng's eyes stared hard, these 108 words, every word has a slightly different concept, however the entire 108 words together form an incomparable perfection. If one didn't carefully examine it, they wouldn't be able to tell that each of the 108 words has a different concept. Luo Feng's mind flashed through the 9 universe tablet's third picture. The third picture was the rainstorm picture, a total of 108 raindrops. Terrifying. Too terrifying. Luo Feng's eyes couldn't hide the shock. He actually managed to express all the concepts of the rainstorm picture through these 108 words. Even though he couldn't see through it, after carefully examining it and comparing it, he realized it. Compared to the abstract raindrops, these strokes were complicated, the strokes were like blade moves, they were much more lifelike. From the information I searched before, floating blood is a technique that uses the blade. Right? Every word is a blade move, the 108 blade moves, completely explaining the 9 universe tablets foundation. Luo Feng finally realized how terrifying that genius Lian Luo from back then was. He didn't have time to be shocked. Luo Feng was already completely immersed in these 108 words, comparing them with the comprehension he gained from the 9 universe tablet. He worked hard to search for the 108 blade moves.